prefer the shh.
I love you better.
I like the shh. I like that. Shh. Right? Yes. All right. So how are we doing?
Good.
How's this year treating you guys?
Amazing.
I'm not sure. Are you guys liking the fact that interest rates are going down now?
Yeah.
Are your phones ringing off the hook? Not yet. Not yet. They will. They will. But you know what? The cool thing about phones, you can also make calls too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So how many of you guys are actually making calls to let all your buyers know, hey, interest rates are low. You know that house that you wanted to buy and you thought was too much because your monthly payments are going to be higher? Guess what? Interest rates have dropped. So what we're seeing is an average of savings of $300 a month based on interest rates reductions. Are you guys having these conversations with your buyers? Be honest. And you need to, exactly. So after today, call a list of all your buyers, let them know interest rates are going down, you're saving money, let's go out and look at houses. And guess what? It's a good time to look at houses because houses are decorated, right? Yes, it's the holiday season. Your next credit should be a new house, right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's listen to a message from our president, Mark King.
Hello, Keller Williams family. Mark King here with Keller Williams Realty International. Here to talk to you about Happy December. With the holidays coming up, it's usually a time where people kind of slow down, take off. It's also the time we set goals for 2024. And our 2024 is going to be amazing, starting with family reunion in Las Vegas in February with the amazing Mel Robbins and Tony Robbins. And we know that you will all be there. Can't wait to see you there. And have an amazing 2024. It starts right now with goal setting. Let us know if we can help. Have a great month.
All right. Yes, I know a few of you guys have already set your goals for 2024, so you guys are already on the right track. So our mission statement: to build careers worth having, business worth owning, lives worth living, experience worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. To be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. God, family, then business. Our belief system. So I want to hear from three of you guys. What's going on in your business or your life based on one of these belief systems here? Tina Wang.
Customer always come first.
Okay, let's give us an example.
Just gotta provide your best service out there to service them, and then for sure they will refer you more business. It's never ending.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, I want to hear from two more.
Success, results for people. When you do a damn good job with the client, you get the results and you get the right to ask for more clients from that client. And I wouldn't wait until the end. You want to get it when they're excited, when they see that they're helping you. So you want to go in the middle of the transaction and start, hey, can you pull that address book? Because, that way I can, make the cars for the housewarming house, whatever. But I think that's the best moment that they're in the highest, that they're listening to you, they trust you, you already build the trust, and it's easier to get that client. A referral.
Absolutely. So for us millennials out there, what's an address book? Oh, okay, thank you. Address book.
It's in your phone.
Yes. Yes. So contacts. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Lead generation. Lead generation.
Yes. All right, that's all your hand, David.
Yeah, I'm working on communication and trust with my seniors at the senior center. So
Okay.
I think that's vital,
Absolutely.
especially with elderly people because it takes more time.
Does it?
Yes.
Elderly people, or do you guys agree with that statement? It takes more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tina, you're not in that category. Tina, you're not an elderly person.
I think so.
But, okay. Well, yeah. I would say like in our older generation, yeah, it definitely takes more time in terms of building trust, right?
Trust,
And
yeah.
obviously with technology and things like that. Absolutely. Yes. But you're staying with it, and you're doing an event tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yes. So what's cool about David? David's been doing an event at least once a month now.
Yeah, once every month.
Yeah, so he's getting a group of people, seniors, and you've also just completed your SRES, which is your Senior Real Estate Specialist designation.
Yes.
Yeah. So, absolutely. Give me Perfect. Anyone else with a shared belief system that's going on with their life right now before we move forward? Mr. Tom.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Teamwork is a must in this industry. You got a
Absolutely.
good team, good support, good things happen. And again, you know, I'll relate a little bit on Dave. You know, can't tell you how proud we are, you know, as title, to see his growth and what he's done from the first time we got with him. And he's bringing in an unbelievable guest speaker, Brianna, today. And again, it's all about the teamwork. You work as a team, everybody's business grows. So yeah.
I love that. Love it. All right, our perspective. Technology company that provides a real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams seems like a top producer, acts like a trained consultant, and focuses all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability. All right, there, a little louder there. It wasn't me, I promise. There it is, yes! It's my favorite part of our section. America's favorite game show titled
Name That Price!
Alright, I am your host, Kieran McGlory, along with my lovely co-host, Mo. Mo, who are our contestants today on our favorite game show titled?
Name that price.
We didn't change the name. You guys don't know the name. What's going on over here? I need some more energy. Come on. Alright, who's our first contestant?
8233881.
Alright, calm down.
Hard to
Yes. Yes. Alright, so you take the red seat. Alright, perfect.
Okay.
Yes. I know both seats are red. I know.
8233867.
Sounds like a squirrel. Yes. All right. So, let's get to the property. All right. All right. So this beautiful property is a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath home, 2236 square feet, located in what city?
Chino Hills.
Exactly.
What was the square footage?
It is 2,236 square feet. Lot size is 7,300. Obviously, you can tell it's a 3-car attached garage with a beautiful pool in the backyard. Very close, very located in this area, geographical area. It's very close to our office. This home closed recently within the last couple weeks.
When was it listed?
It was listed within the last couple weeks.
How many days on the market?
How many days on market?
It was on the market for the last couple weeks. Any other questions? Any other questions? I just want you to stay there because I want you to visualize the type of market they're in right now. Right? In terms of prices, what we're seeing right now in this market. Right? So, 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2236 square feet, 3-car attached garage. Literally on the market for 2 weeks before it actually went to escrow and went closed. It closed within the last month, right? So I'm going to start with you. Okay. So guess, name that price.
1.2.
1.25. Okay. 1.25. Okay. And before I hear from you, Pearl, I want to hear 5 guesses from the audience.
1.3.
1.3. Okay. Coach Victor.
1150.
Okay. All right. 3 more. I'm not asking for your social security numbers here. I mean, I'm in a room full of realtors. This is what you guys do for a living. You guys, right? I think so.
1.1.
1.1. Okay. Okay. All right. 2 more.
1.28.
1.28. Okay. 1 more.
1175.
All right. Perfect. All right, Pearl.
1.05.
Okay. 1.05. All right, perfect. So, all right. So the actual retail price of this home sold for $1,170,000. Yes. Yes. All right. So. Well, you're are the audience members, right? So we have to go who's the closest, right? So I believe you're the closest, weren't you? With your guess?
No.
No, not the audience members between you and Pearl.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes, so the next call that someone calls our office and they're looking for an agent that's looking to buy, sell, or lease a home, you will be on that list. So congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
Yes. And no one leaves my game show without winning a prize. So Pearl, you get to choose. Which book would you like to take?
This one.
All right,
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you so much. Let's give a hand. Yeah.
Good, good.
All right.
What is the other book name?
A Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
Oh, the investor.
Yes. And if you guys don't want to wait to win these on the show, you can actually buy them too. Yeah, just letting you know that, right? Yes. All right, so let's go for our my heavy finger. That's what it is, right? All right, perfect. Let's give it up for all our December birthdays. Yes. All right, December anniversaries, work anniversaries. Give it up for our December work anniversaries. All right, let's welcome all our newcomers. Let me make sure you see them in the hallway. Give them a nice KW Vision welcome. That was Mo. That's all Mo. That was all Mo there. All right. So this is an opportunity to fill someone's bucket. Someone that has helped you, brought a smile to your face, or kept you motivated when you were thinking about, man, I should look at someone doing something different. So I want to hear from 3 of you guys. I want to hear from 3 of you guys to fill 3 buckets before we move forward. I know all your names, so I can call each and every one of you. But I give you an opportunity for you to volunteer before I have to do that.
Well, I want to thank you.
Coach Victor, all right?
I want to thank you here because you know, he's been constantly on my real estate school class, and the way he expresses himself and he portrays to people is excellent. And I think from the first class of the 90 days that I'm having, I think we're going to have, and I'm sure you already talked to a couple of them.
Oh, yes.
We might have 3 or 4 people joining the office, and what I'm doing is, you know, I make them go among them to help them each other study. So every time somebody misses, they come and tell me, hey, somebody sent a message in the group that they're not coming today. So I think that's an opportunity for, if you can bring all of them, which I think you could. But thank you so much for always being inspiring, even the students that haven't been here yet.
Wow.
So,
Wow,
awesome
thank you.
for that.
All right, one here for 2 more. All right, Mr. Nick, and if you guys have not, this is Nick Lanza. He's actually the owner of KW Vision. He also used to be a power forward of Los Angeles Lakers. I'm kidding, but yeah. But, I mean, I'm saying he has the height. He totally could have if he wanted to. Yes.
Okay, so I've been a majority principal holder. Owner is not a term I like.
Majority principal owner.
Yeah, majority principal holder.
Holder.
Since
MPH.
2010. I've known Amy since then. She's been kind of by my side with this all along. And when things get to a high level of strategy, I come involved again. And we're certainly at that at this moment. And I would say I want to thank you because I've come into the environment and I was very, very much inspired by it. Where he got this office to this point in terms of energy, inspiration, and his dedication and loyalty, which I've learned about since I met him. And then I think, which you're going to probably soon introduce Jen, that is going to be a team that you're going to love going forward with the experience and the energy that goes with that. So, yeah, Q, number 2, 2 votes for Q.
All right, all right, we'll do 2 more. Yes, type. Either one of you guys go first. Doesn't matter.
I just want to thank you.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, I swear I didn't pay anybody, okay? I didn't pay anybody, right? Text in the mail. I mean, wait.
I saw, I should come to office more often, but actually I'm not. I'm not very often, but every time I'm in office, Coach Q very hardworking, making phone calls, recruit, and he recruited Vivian, that's a new agent, and for the first time, I'm the mentor of Vivian. So Coach Q connect us. So I'm happy for Vivian find a very good, I think your best choice to join KW Vision, and you have the coach, you have all the family, you have the team, and I should thank you, Coach Q, to connect us.
Wow. What's going on? Jeez. Someone warned you for something. Jeez.
He loves it.
All right, the guy in the red suit doesn't want any attention. Right.
Hey, by the way, I love your suits, man. Every day I come, it's a different color. I've never seen you wearing the same.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do that, Coach Bitch. I don't want people to think, yeah, different colors, yes. All right, David, that's what you had to.
I'd like to thank the team, Brianna, Monarch, and John for coming out for my senior stuff and helping out, making the time too. So, thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. It goes back to what Tom was saying about teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. All right, so this is an opportunity for you guys to get to pitch your listings. So any listings that you currently have in the market, any listings coming soon, or any seller said, hey, if you can give me that price on something else. Now I'm in a room full of realtors that talk to buyers and sellers, so I know at least 3 of you guys have something going on, or something's on the market, or something coming soon. Now I could call on you guys, I know our names, so I'm gonna give you guys opportunity to volunteer before I start calling on you. Clara.
What?
What? What?
I haven't even gone to my meeting yet.
You know what? We're
He
putting out
said
the
coming
universe, right?
soon.
We're putting out the universe. So tell us, what do you have coming up on Monday?
Actually, it's tomorrow. We just rescheduled for tomorrow.
Well, look at that. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. If the seller rescheduled and said, hey, instead of waiting till Monday for you to list my house, I want you to come tomorrow to list my house. So that's a good sign. So let's hear about it. About the specs.
Well,
bedrooms.
he just called me last night, so I haven't done comps or anything, but it's a
Okay.
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay.
Home in Ontario on a cul-de-sac, and that's all I know right now. So
All right, perfect.
after the meeting, then I'm gonna go get all the information, but yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. In this time of year, right? Oh, yeah. Tell us a little story about that. So with this client that's looking to sell their house, how did you meet them?
He's an old lease client of mine,
I'm sorry?
a lease
A
client.
lease client. So a person that rents.
Yeah.
You took on a lease because you know a lot of people in our industry, they're too good for leases, but you took on the lease.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, I've been doing it all year.
Yes. And now so what's the story? So you helped him lease his property.
I helped him and his wife were having problems, so I helped him lease a condo. And then he called me yesterday and told me that him and his wife are considering selling.
Yeah.
And since I met the wife already and him, so yeah.
Yeah, I love that because you took it a lease opportunity, and now this lease opportunity is turning into a sell opportunity. And then they've also referred you other people, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, don't turn away business. You know what I mean? If someone's looking to help, whether it's a buy, sell, or lease, help them. Because you never know what it can transpire. I mean, you literally started working with this person this year. You've helped them lease, now you're helping them sell within the same year. That's awesome. Yeah, so let's give a hand to Clara. Yeah. All right, we're here for two more. Two more. Come on, room full of real. Oh, Connie! Thank you, Connie.
I have a listing coming up in Anaheim. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, 9,700 square feet lot. So it's fully remodeled, so I'm gonna list it at 1.2, but the seller is willing to go down. We know we are up all the way up there, so.
Yeah. Well, so you always want to start up though, because that
Yeah.
gives you an opportunity to go down, as opposed to starting down and trying to go up. So, love that. Yeah, let's give it up for that $1 million listing coming up. Yes. This time of the year, right, when no one's buying or selling, right, no one's doing any of the stuff, but yet Claire's got a seller that's beating down her phone, like, oh my gosh, can't wait to sell my house, right? And then Connie has a $1 million listing coming up at this time of the year, right? All right, we're here for one more. One more.
Well, it's
William!
Yeah. Well, it's an old listing actually. It's been on the market 28 days already. 3.2 million in urban, Great Park area. Yeah, it's fairly sized, yeah, 3388 square footage. Yeah, the lot is 60,000. Yeah, I know some other properties are coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah, however, either they are facing the backing the big street, or they're in a very bad shape actually. Yeah, so it's not comparable to mine.
Yeah.
We're insisting 3.2.
Yeah, we'll definitely blast it out. We'll blast it out today to get out in front of more people. Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Any more before we move forward? Going once? Going twice? All right. Moving on.
You gotta hit the mouse.
Yes, Christmas cash. Right. So, opportunity. What I've been doing this month is anyone that's referring me, anyone that's looking to talk, whether they're talking about their business, possibly what Keller Williams offers its agents, an opportunity for you guys to get a gift card. I actually gave away another gift card yesterday, a nice Starbucks gift card. So if you guys like Starbucks, I got a few Starbucks gift cards. So just letting you guys know. And who doesn't want a gift card for Christmas, right? You don't have to give yourself and give somebody else, right? Yes. All right, so tomorrow we are having our ugly sweater Christmas party. So let's give it up for ugly Christmas sweater party. Yeah. Now, if you're Tina Yang, Tina Yang doesn't have ugly Christmas sweaters. So I said you can wear a pretty sweater. That's totally fine. And you know what? I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater.
He will not have a
I have
suit
an
on.
adult Christmas sweater I'll be wearing tomorrow.
But he will
So
not have
I'm
a
just letting you
suit on.
guys know, okay? So if you guys come up and like, where's your ugly Christmas sweater? I told you, I'm wearing an adult Christmas sweater, so. Well, different. So yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna have our ugly Christmas sweater party, and adult sweater or pretty sweater, or whatever kind of sweater you have. And it's gonna be tomorrow, starts at 11, and the food should be here about 12 p.m. We'll have games, it'll be fun, we'll have music, possibly karaoke maybe. We'll have a good time. We'll have a good time. Yes, yes, yes. So if you haven't done RSVP, it's up time to RSVP. All right, so if you guys haven't been tuning in, every Monday we have a weekly workshop at 11:30. Opportunity. You don't have to be part of the coaching program to actually be part of this. This is a great opportunity where they're doing like hands-on classes in terms of your real estate business, right? So if you guys have not tuned in, definitely tune into it, right? All right. How many of you guys have been doing the Project Agent Launchpad or have gone to your classes? What do you think so far, baby?
I just took the first class yesterday.
So what do you think?
He always interrupt me in the office. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries. Yes, but how many of you guys others have been attending or have jumped on class? All right. So let's make a note and let's jump on the Productive Launchpad class. I mean, the thing is with this class, the instructor Chrissy, she's been in the business for 15 years. She is a licensed pricing agent. She was a team leader at one point. A lot of things that she goes over is she's going over real life scenarios of things that you guys are dealing with. I mean, this last class she was going over, she was showing you how to actually set up campaigns in your smart plans. You know what I mean? That KW command system that we've been talking to you guys about like forever, right? She was literally going through the smart plans you guys need to set up. So all the classes are recorded. If you guys have not jumped on it, jump on it. I think the next class starts, was it December 4th. I think the class just started December 4th. But oh yeah.
That's the new one there.
Yeah, this is the new one here. So if you guys have not jumped on it, definitely jump on it. Go to those classes, because again, this is the value that we're providing to you guys. And bless you. And I guarantee you, you guys attend these classes, you will get a transaction. It's 20 classes. She gives you homework after every class. You do all these classes, you'll have 200 people in your database. You'll have four smart plans set up. And you will gross commission income of over 6 figures if you follow these instructions. Who wants to make 6 figures in 2024? Just a handful of you guys. You guys are like, no, I'm good. That's too much money for me, right? Every hand should be up, right? Every hand should be up, yeah. So if you guys want to do that, definitely take the opportunity to go to our Productivity Launchpad. All right, Christmas closure date. So we're not open December 25th, December 26th. But if you guys want to send like a nice text message to me, wish me happy holidays, I'll totally respond back to you, okay? Just letting you guys know, okay? All right, we're also closed on New Year's Day. All right, so family reunions coming up in February. This is a great opportunity for you guys to learn exactly what the top agents are doing right now to thrive in the market. One of our headline speakers is going to be Tony Robbins as well as Mel Robbins, and obviously you get to hear from Gary Keller as well. It's not too far away. It's like a 4-hour drive. Right. Yes. So our keynote speakers, we got Mel Robbins, we have Tony Robbins, and obviously we have Gary Keller. So definitely, if you guys can, definitely make an opportunity to go. It's going to be a lot of value, a lot of great information, and a lot of networking opportunities. All right, so anyone that does KW Land, we have a new KW Land website. So any of you land experts out there. All right, another opportunity for you guys to learn Command in less than 30 minutes. So this information obviously is going to be sent to your emails. You'll have it later today or tomorrow. So definitely, if you guys aren't using Command, start using Command. You guys pay for it every month. Might as well start using it, okay?
Don't change it, please.
Oh.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Emos? Emo too? All right.
You're gonna send us stuff.
All right, KW Keller Inc. newsletter. So this is a good newsletter to subscribe to. That will provide great value, great tips, and different ways to keep you motivated. All right, if you guys are making calls, if you guys are generating your own leads, make sure that these people are not on the do not call list. It is a large fine. As much as I love you guys, I am not paying your bills, okay? So make sure you guys are not calling people that do not call list. Now, if we're giving you leads, those people are scrubbed, so you're good to go. But if you're doing your own leads, then you need to make sure that you are following those laws. All right, so what's going on with the real estate market? All right, so looking at the graph here, if we're looking at 2023, which is the blue line here. Now, this represents San Bernardino County in terms of listing inventory. If we're looking at the blue line here, what is it trending? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it staying steady? What's it doing? It's going down. So when it's going down, what does that mean?
More demands.
So if we're talking about listed inventory, right?
Yes.
And it's what?
Going down.
It's going. What's going down?
Inventory.
Thank you. Right. Yes. The listing or inventory is going down, which means that we are having less listings on the market, right? Yes. All right. So if we're looking at demand year over year, focusing on the blue line here, where is that trending? Up, down, or staying steady? Which means what is going down? Demand. So we're seeing inventory numbers going down, we're seeing demand going down. Now typically we usually see this trend during this time of year because what normally happens during this time of year? Holidays, right? So people usually take time off, right? So this is something normal. This is anything out of the ordinary. Now expected market time. Now if you're following the blue line here for 2023, is that trending up, down, or sideways? What direction is that going? All right, so expected market time is going up, which means what?
More time and more time to sell.
Exactly, right? It means homes are staying on the market longer, right? Now, if you're talking to a buyer right now, would this be a good graph to show them? Yes, right? So why would this be a good graph to show a buyer right now?
Because homes are staying on the market longer, so you should get deals.
There you go, right? Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer. I'm going to show you a graph. This graph here shows that homes are staying in the market longer, which means Mr. or Miss Buyer, right? Which gives you an opportunity to negotiate the price. So that house has been on the market for 28 days, listed at $970,000. Let's offer $930 for it. Let's see what happens, right? Use these graphs to provide value and facts of why a person should move forward. Yes.
Can I make a comment? Also, if you guys have buyers that want you to help them go through these down payment assistance programs that are out there, for this type of homes that are already 45, 60 days, that would be an awesome way to acquire a home because the seller is still willing to sell. He will be more apt to get that program and accept and give you enough time. Make sure you disclose that you're going through these programs because if you lie, then the contingency period can get you in trouble. So be honest with it And I think, you know, you could use those down payment assistance programs there.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Any type of resource you can provide for your buyers is always a good thing. Because again, you gotta remember, most people know other agents, right? And what separates you from other agents? Thank you, David. Can you say it a little louder so
The
everyone
service
can?
we provide.
The service you provide, right? So this would be a great service to provide, wouldn't it? Yes. Now this is for luxury homes. Anything San Bernardino County listed over 800,000 is considered a luxury. Now if we're following the blue trend line here, what direction is that going in terms of listed inventory? Up, down, or sideways?
Down.
It's going down, which means that listed inventory is actually going down, right? So again, showing your buyers properties, this graph, they're looking at this price point, let them know, like, listen, this is an opportunity for out there to go out homes. This is an opportunity for us to get those deals, right? Show them this information. Now, if we're looking at demand year over year, in terms of the blue line here, where is this trending? Up, down, or sideways? What direction? Down. So if you're a buyer out there, are you going to be dealing with more competition or less competition? Less, right? So another reason why a buyer should go out there. Homes are staying in the market longer, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, which gives us more negotiating room for price, number one. Number two, we're not dealing with as many competition, which means we're dealing with less multiple offers, right? Now, expected market time. Homes that are saying expected market time, if we're looking at the blue line here, is that trending up, down, or sideways? Up, which again means what?
More time to sell.
More time to sell, homes are staying in the market longer, right? All right, so this graph here shows first-time home buyer housing affordability. So this represents how many first-time home buyers can actually afford to buy a home, right? Now, if we're looking at this graph here, where is it trending?
15%, what does it say there? 60?
Yes, it's well, this line here, close to is 50 here, right? So it's trending down, right? So I mean, if you look at it, I mean, we were at one point we're close to almost like 65, 66% in terms of affordability, right? Now we're trending down, right? Which means less and less people are actually able to afford a home. So again, this could be a good graph if you're talking to first-time home buyers out there. It's like, listen, affordability is going down, down, down. Right now, you could afford to buy a house. I can't guarantee the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you can still afford this 4-bedroom house that you actually need. So we need to take action and move forward on it, right? All right. Oh no, I'm just looking to see if I can see what the next slide is.
You should know.
I should know. I should know. I should know. Counted it. What am I, like slide 67? Okay. I should know. So I don't want to spoil anything. All right, so I'm just gonna say it. Going for it. Going for it.
Just hit the button.
No.
Is there any good news for the sellers?
Well, there's always good news for the sellers, right? I mean, the thing is, if you're a seller, right? I mean, if you're priced right, and you're in a good location, and if you're getting the price. I mean, the thing is, William, it's right now. It's as a seller, you have to price right. The problem is, if you price above, you're cutting yourself. You're cutting yourself. So having a conversation with your sellers, understanding the fact of pricing right is important. Like the strategy I usually use when I list a property, I want to go below right below the most recent sale price. And the reason why I do that is because I know that there's still buyers out there looking, right? So if I can look like a deal, chances of me generating multiple offers where I'm actually selling more than the previous house wins. Like for instance, let's say I'm in escrow right now. A property sold a little above the property price I was listed at. So I list a little below. End up generating multiple offers, and now we're going to sell more than that house actually did. So if you're really talking to a seller, talk to them about that strategy. Listen, I know this house here sold for $980. Let's come in at $950. All of a sudden, we're generating multiple offers. We'll most likely will get above $980, right? So coming below the most recent sale is a good strategy. So that's what I would talk to my sellers about.
And besides, it helps you on exposure, because if you list below market value, that gives you 65% of the market will be looking at your house the first few days. If you go over 10%, you reduce it to 35% of the market. And if you go 5%, it basically you get, 10% over, you're just killing yourself with only 10% of the market. So you're not doing a service to the seller, and you need to explain that, and then you need to know the motivation, because the motivation needs to be there.
Absolutely. Then, like you said, I mean, if you're taking listings, don't overprice listings. Go below market. If your client's talking about that, steer them away. John.
I just want to say one thing as well. I pulled up this report on Chino Hills, and Chino Hills is still considered a strong seller's market. Not every market is a seller market, right? But Chino Hills is. And I can tell you, as we've seen rates come down the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, mortgage demand has gone up. Okay, so I think that's a strong thing for sellers as well, because as rates continue to come down and as we get through the Christmas season, going into next year, if rates continue to trend downward even just a little bit, you're going to see way more buyer demand coming out, and they're going to be more apt to want to take up some of these houses. But I totally agree with Q. They have to be priced right. And all the people that I work with saying if a house is overpriced, it doesn't get any activity. If it's priced right where they think it should be or right below, that's what really generates the activity. And that's what I'm seeing from my side of the market. So I think as far as sellers are concerned, they just need to understand the price is right and trust their realtor to be doing the right thing for them.
Man, that's a big one. Absolutely, for sure. Absolutely. Any other questions before we move forward?
I just had a comment. Also, KW has a really helpful diagram that speaks to that, about how it's like a triangle, and how as you go up in price, they get a lesser in list price. The price actually goes down. So if you want that for your listing presentation, you can get that as well from KW, because it's obviously based upon statistics, and it's always nice when you could put that kind of information in front of them, because it's been tested over time.
Absolutely. And where you find that information, you actually go on your command. You have to open command, click on connect. When you click on connect, look at win with seller. You download win with seller, and you'll see that diagram that shows in terms of pricing your property, in terms of the type of offers you should get. So open your command, go into connect, download win with sellers. You guys all got that?
Yes.
All right, perfect, awesome. All right, so I am super excited to announce our newest addition to our KW Vision family. Drum roll, please.
Hold on, it played, but they were clapping.
All right, let's welcome to our KW Vision family, our newest operating principal and broker of record, Ms. Jennifer Brown. I'm willing you up. You see, Jennifer got the memo, right?
I did.
We're wearing our KW red over here.
That's it.
Yes.
Hi, guys. Hi. I am so excited to be here. Nick, the opportunity to work with him and Q. I've known Q for a while. So this is going to be a great year. We're going to do some amazing things together. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you. I have a lot of energy, so sorry, not sorry, but I hope we can bring more energy, more culture, more support, everything to the Market Center. And whatever you guys need, please reach out and let me know, and we will work as a team to make sure we can get that to happen for you guys. But any questions you have for me?
Come on. I know you guys got a couple questions.
Hit me with your best shot.
Are you gonna raise profit share?
As long as you produce, yes.
Great answer. Right? Yes. Producing agents equals great profit share. I love
That's
it.
right.
Yes.
We got this. Anything. Just a little bit about my background. I was with another company that wears a lot of blue for many years. About 25 years with them. Ran the #1 company there and was part of a top 20 regional group that we would meet on a monthly basis and work together as brokers and owners to figure out ways that we could make our companies better. I'll tell you, when I came to KW, I'm like, man, this is already done for us. It is so cool, the culture, everything that we have here at KW. You have no idea how lucky you guys are. I've been here going on my 7th year, and I work with multiple market centers, so I get to hear a lot of different ways that people do business in different areas. So Carlsbad, I'm up in Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead, Joshua Tree, so Whittier. So I think it brings a lot as an OP that I can share with you guys in things that other market centers are doing that I can help Q with, and then just helping him grow as a leader and things like that. So I'm super excited, and I can't wait to get to know everybody. That's it. That's my speech.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Yes.
What am I doing now?
Go take a picture.
Oh, we're
Yes.
gonna do a picture. I love pictures. Don't make me look bad. All right, guys.
Perfect. Yes. So super excited, as you know, as Jennifer was saying. Definitely motivated and encouraged and inspired and excited that we're going to bring so much value to each and every one of you guys. We're working on a lot of things behind the scenes too. I don't want to give away anything else, but we're working on some big things in 2024. We're going to definitely stand out amongst other offices. So I'm super excited about it. So definitely, yeah. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Awesome. Cool. All right, great. So how are you guys feeling? You guys excited?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Victor, I hear you. Man, awesome. Hey, Kanye Way. Awesome. I love it. Welcome back. She just came back. World traveler over here. Good to see you. Awesome. Love it. Yes, she's the original KW actually. Yes, Kanye Way, KW. So you guys get it. And her whole family's all KW, so it's pretty awesome. Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh, you already moved the slide over.
Yeah, because you jumped on Janet. So.
Oh, got it. I got it. Improv. Yes, you gotta follow the cues. All right, perfect. So I'd like to welcome our special guest speaker today, Attorney Brianna Giliberto-Hermann Esq. Yes, she's going to share with us about probate, about trust, about estate, how to keep your clients safe, as well as how you guys provide that extra value that, hey, you don't just get me as a realtor, you also get an estate attorney that can also help with your legal needs. So let's give a warm welcome to our special guest today, Attorney Brianna.
Alright, hi everyone. So if you're reading the little paragraph, you're going to get a little information about me, but to go into a little bit more detail, for my practice, I do estate planning, probate, trust administration, dealing with anything after death, and unfortunately somebody's been injured. But we're not focusing on that side. We're focusing on the estate planning side today and probate. Just out of curiosity, how many of you have a trust of your own? Decent amount. Fantastic. All right. So for everyone else that doesn't, so it's going to be a refresher for everyone that does, but for everyone who doesn't, we're just going to be talking about the differences between wills and trusts, probate, how that comes into play, different misconceptions, possibly how taxes could come into play as well, but we're going to go through all of that in due time. But to go back to what I was talking about, middle paragraph is going to talk a little bit more about me, which is how I approach everything. I was a client before I was an attorney. It was actually what inspired me to become an attorney because when I was 10 years old, I lost my dad. He was separated from my mom, so had his own trust. It wasn't funded correctly, so my share was kind of floating in the universe. Had a half-sister who's much older than me, don't do the math, but about 30 years older than me. And everything else that you can possibly think comes into play with that. You know, didn't want to acknowledge that I existed, didn't want to do her job as the manager of this trust, whatever the heck that thing is, and going from there. So what ended up happening is my mom didn't have the money to deal with it, so I got into my 20s, and I'm sitting across from a bunch of attorneys who are going, well, I don't know what this is worth, but I'll take a third. And I'm going, I'm sorry, what? And so it all came down to a trust that wasn't created properly, or at least my dad didn't listen to the advice he was given. I'm hoping he was given that advice. So with that being said, we are going to dive into, if you look in the folders that are in front of you, you're going to see a couple of different things. I'm going to give you an idea how I approach things with clients, so I'm going to talk to you as if you're a client. Now, you are going to see, this one. That's basically going to be a summary of everything I'm going to focus on today during my little spiel. And then these are the documents that I typically give to my clients and that I walk through with them. I try not to kill a ton of trees, so it is front and back, so bear with me. So we have this that has to do with probate fees. We're going to go through that. Probate in a breakdown on a chart on the back. Then we have this one as well, which is a breakdown of what estate planning documents are, goes onto the back as well. Okay? So just to get an idea, we are just gonna walk through different things, and that first thing is gonna be, what's the difference between a will and a trust, and why do you care? So a will is what you think of. It is a document that you can technically do handwritten, you can have somebody else write it for you. There are different formalities to make it valid. Now, the big thing, and you're going to see that big thing in green on that front page, the one that has the staple with it, and it's going to say, if you have assets that are worth collectively more than $184,500, congrats, you're rich, right? $184,000, it's not much. When you have a house in the state of California, you're already there. Realistically, you have a plot of land, you're already there. So with that being said, how do we protect that from the government, so to speak, right? Sorry, David, I took over your space. With that being said, we talk about a trust. A trust doesn't care if the assets are worth millions. It doesn't care if it's worth a penny at passing. But a will does. A will only be able to be used in a void the court system called probate. I know I've thrown that word out a few times. And that is going to be if you have $184,500 or less. So if you're in your 20s and just starting out and don't have an inheritance, then there you go. Works great for you. Write a will. You're going on a plane trip. Go on a will. Go do your will. But if you are a homeowner, especially in California, and talking to a room full of realtors, you know a lot of homeowners, that's what you're going to want to stress with your clients. Your clients are purchasing this huge asset. It's already a big expense, I know, and so they're going, I don't want to do anything else. Who wants to talk about a trust that's a few $1,000s? I understand that. But let's talk about probate fees. Probate fees, whether or not you have an attorney come into play, because you have this thing called an administrator. To give you a little detail what probate is, it is a court process that takes about a year to a year and a half. If you're lucky, that's assuming that there's no litigation that's coming in, so we're just talking basic, going through probate. If you have a will, it goes through probate. It controls a little bit if the judge finds it valid. If you have nothing, well, the law just wrote you a will. It's going to your next of kin, whoever that may be. If you have a trust, don't have to think about that. But let's talk about the fees for probate. So for court fees, it's about $3,000 to $3,500 just for court. That's just to go talk to a judge every so often. Now, as for attorney's fees, you're going to see it if you're looking either on the green page, down here at the bottom, or if you're looking at the probate page, which I'm going to pull out right here, it's in blue. You're going to see it's a percentage breakdown. There's a little bit of a misconception that, oh, the attorney's going to take 30%. No. Or 10%, or some flat percent. It's actually written in the law what the attorney's going to take, and it's written right there. So for instance, we have, let's say we have plot of land, $200,000. Well, if you're looking at the percentage breakdown, we have 4% of the first 100, 3% of the next 100,000. Congrats, you are now paying me $7,000. Who wants to do that? Let's say even for that plot of land, you then got a trust. You put it in there. You might be paying me nothing, which is even better. But to even go beyond that, you're avoiding all of the frustration of going through the court system. Court is time. Court is money. This is time. This chart right here is a breakdown of your average probate. Basic probate. It starts with filing the petition. You have a couple of different hearings, and nobody gets to see their money until about a year to a year and a half later. Who wants to wait that long? Minus attorney's fees or administrator fees, which are, guess what? Blue right here. So it could also be double dipped if you have an administrator and an attorney working on the case. I'm going to pause and take a breath because I talk quickly. I apologize. Any questions on anything I've said so far? Good? Okay. So moving on, let's focus on a trust. A trust itself is like a will on steroids. So what you think of a will, you can put all of your wishes down. You can write it on the back of the paper there right now. Let's do mine. I, Brianna, upon my passing, want any and all of my assets, whatever they may be at the time, to go to my mom. And I want to make sure she takes care of my dog, so I'm going to set $15,000 aside for my dog. Love my dog. So with that being said, and I want my mom to be in charge. Well, Depending on what my assets are at the time I pass away, that might be going through court. It's still going to be valid as long as I've signed and dated it. That's all it needs. If somebody else wrote for me, David, you're going to write down my will, exactly what I said. I just need 2 of you in this room to witness the fact that I want that to be my will. Really, no formalities, right? That simple. I just wrote my will. So with that being said, typically you go to an attorney, or hopefully you go to an attorney. You can always do it online. You can always do it with a paralegal. But the nice thing about working with an attorney to do a trust is, 1, we have malpractice insurance. 2, we have our license that we really want to keep. You guys are familiar with that. We like licenses. And 3, we have the education behind us to at least be able to go into a bit more detail than just your basic estate plan. For instance, if you have a client who has a failure to launch kid, 45, living at home, probably not going to get out of the house, anytime soon. What if that child's still at home when he passes away? Well, as an attorney, I know this thing called a reservation of the estate. I can reserve time for that child to be able to move out, do things like that if the parent wants that. I can also do specific gifts. I know the questions to ask. You're going online, good luck, you're doing it yourself. And then 2, we also have the fact that if you're working with a paralegal, they cannot give you legal advice. So there's a little bit more cost when you're working with an attorney and just for a trust in general, because again, you're avoiding $200,000, $7,000 off the top. Only goes up from there. So that's the difference between a will and a trust. Will, right on the back of the napkin, doesn't matter. If you probably are going to go through probate, especially if you have over $184,500. Other side, doesn't matter if you have a penny or more, a trust will save you from probate. Before I move on, it's not in the packets, but I'm going to make a mention of it. There is a little bit of a misconception that this living trust, also known as your family trust or your revocable trust, will save you from, will save you from liabilities. What that means is, so you're in a car accident. Oh, if I have a trust, you can't sue me, you can't take my house. Not the type of trust we're talking about. That type of trust is called an irrevocable trust, and quite honestly, if you're not worth more than $14 million, I don't even want to get into talking about that. And the reason for that is because then you're getting into what's called asset protection. You're getting into where you lose control. We're close enough to Beverly Hills, I can use that as an example. We hear about trust fund babies all the time. You hear that the movie stars have the trust fund babies. Just anyone down that direction probably has a trust fund baby. What does that mean? Realistically, what that means, we're not talking about a living trust. It might, but probably not. What we're talking about is the irrevocable trust, which is where the great-grandpa, who was a gold miner back in the day, had struck gold, movie star, whatever you want to go with, and they wanted to start hiding assets from the government from taxes. That is where they started creating that generational wealth. And what they started doing is they started keeping it in different pots. And go, well, it's not actually mine. I mean, it's under my name, but it's actually for Billy, my grandkid, whenever he's born. And doing it that way. So we're not even talking about this because the irrevocable trust, so not able to be revoked trust, meaning not able to be changed, loses control. You lose control, you lose liability. I think you want to keep control. So when we're going over here, beyond the $14 million, and the reason we have that $14 million is because that becomes a tax issue for death taxes. When we're over here, when we have the revocable living trust, family trust, we're talking about your everyday person, your regular homeowner, and multiple properties. Again, it's going to protect them in the long run from probate, and it's going to focus on probate. Not going to do anything for liabilities, though. Okay? So I just want to acknowledge that misconception. Any questions on what I just said right now? Okay, I don't know if I'm kidding you guys, I'm getting a lot of stares, I'm getting some nods, so I'm going to say it's okay. But okay, please hands up if you need anything.
The holographic will, can you explain that?
Holographic will is what I described as when I was going to be writing it myself. So I'm going to write down the back of the paper, I, Brianna, everything that's in my handwriting. That is going to be that's what the formal wording is. Holographic because it's handwritten, and then will is just because it's not a trust.
But it has to be in front of 2 witnesses?
Yep. If it's in my handwriting, signed and dated, it doesn't have to have any witnesses.
So no witnesses.
If you write my will for me, because anybody can write a will, you write my will for me, then I need somebody in this room to make 2 people to sign and say that I was of sound mind, that I knew it was my will, yada yada.
Gotcha. Thanks.
I guess I'll hand over this direction? No? Okay. All right. going beyond that, going beyond the will versus the trust, going beyond probate, I'm going to dive a little bit more into the misconceptions. We briefly went over the irrevocable trust versus the revocable family trust. A lot that you might be seeing is, you know, I'm going to add, I'm going to go with Billy. I like Billy today. I'm going to add Billy to my deed. You know, Billy's my firstborn. I know he's going to do everything I want after I die. Well, that doesn't take care of Bob and Susie. Because what's going to happen is most of the time parents will add a child as a joint tenant. As a reminder, joint tenant means we have that right of survivorship. One person passes away, automatically goes to the other. So parents are betting, basically, that Billy's going to outlive them, and because firstborn, hopefully raised right, good kid, went to college, you know, not greedy. You know, colors change after death. Not greedy, definitely going to go ahead and share with his siblings. We run into a couple issues. I'm going to talk about taxes one more time. So what ends up happening is mom and dad pass away. Billy, whoop, got the house, it's all mine. He doesn't want to be nice, he's going to be the good kid. He's going to be the one that says, you know what, I'm going to share with my siblings. Well, congrats, Billy, you just got hit with gift taxes. Gift taxes right now, at least going up into 2024, anything above $18,000 is going yearly, annually, is going to be hit with normal taxes. We don't want that, because guess what? Billy, Susie, and Bob aren't going to be getting everything that they should have been if it had been in a trust. Even if it had gone through probate, it would have been better at that point, okay? Let's go through the other side. Billy says, you know what, I don't like Susie, never liked her. I don't like Bob either, so I'm going to keep the house. Guess what? The other two have no rights.
Wow.
They have no legal claims. So, how do we fix that? We talk to our clients about doing a trust. Because guess what? One, you maintain your ownership. Two, who cares what kid's family, you know, dynamics going to be later. We have where Billy can be in charge of the trust, managing the trust, not changing our wishes, but managing it for us and having it where it's going to go through our flow chart. It can go through even next generation if we want it that way. Let's do another scenario. We can have where, let's see, we have Billy, we're going to have where Billy's a drug addict this time. Add Billy to the title. This one I actually got from John the other day. This I really appreciated. Billy's a drug addict, or any sort of addict. Maybe he likes to gamble. If you add him to title, you have lost, let's say, half of your house, because it's just one parent and Billy. Billy can give away that share for whatever addiction is. He can simply lose it. It can also be going to the liabilities again. Billy's in a massive car accident. You added him to title, guess what? Your house is up for grabs now, or at least part of it. Don't want to do any of that. Again, the trust creates that step down to where we want it to go without losing that control and ownership. Any questions on
Yeah,
that?
I've heard customers wanted to add a baby born, you know, 1 year old to the title,
That's
just in
a
case.
whole different
whatever.
issue.
Yeah, but still, you know, the liability is always running there, so it's better if she does it under the trust from the get-go.
And just to touch on that, especially if you have the trust, when we have minor children, we're able to do what's called a separate shared trust, not that it matters what it's called. We're able to do it where it's going to be, where it's going to be that until a certain age that we feel that that child's going to be able to manage whatever asset that is. Let's say it's a house, let's say it's everything. Then at that point, what we'll be able to do is say, hey, you know, either at graduation of college, if we're trying to push the route of education, they can get it then. If they don't do that route, then how about 25, they get half, and 30, they'll get the other one. It's whatever you can say. But it is so much better to go into a trust, especially if you have a minor too. They technically can't enter into a contract. So it hits a whole different issue. They can own land in the state of California, but it's not good. Yes?
I'm not sure if you'll cover this later, but what if you have a living trust? There's, let's say, 3 siblings, and you already put them as the beneficiaries of the property.
Okay.
But you're worried about the son-in-law. What's the language do you put, or do you, number one, do you make an amendment, or do you do a quit claim deed, or do you completely remove the daughter to protect the asset from the son-in-law?
Good question. Nope, you're good. So realistically, unless something happened to daughter and she passed away at the exact same moment as mom and dad, I'm assuming, that would be when son-in-law could possibly come in, but realistically, he's never going to be in the picture. So let's go over what the question was.
Even if they're married, they
Doesn't
don't
matter.
share the property? Okay.
The question is if there's a concern by parents that a child is married to somebody that they don't like. So in-laws, not the great, right? Sorry, you said son-in-law this one, right? Son-in-law. We don't like son-in-law very much. In this scenario, we're even talking about, apparently the clients are talking about maybe even just removing daughter off of the beneficiary of the trust altogether. So she doesn't get an inheritance because we really don't like him. Not the right way to go. For starts, the law protects against that. So trusts don't even have to acknowledge it. You don't have to do a quick claim deed, which says, hey, son-in-law has to sign this and say, I have no interest. He has no interest. There's only a caveat where the law comes into play. So let's say daughter has a will that says everything's supposed to go to son-in-law, or has something else, and like I said, she dies at the exact same time as mom and dad. Probably not going to happen, though if it does. That would be the only time that the son-in-law would have a slight claim, which is, we're actually jumping a little ahead, but I can get to it right now. What that's going to be doing is that there's going to be a slight claim because if there are children involved, he's not going to be entitled to much. It might be as little as a third, it might be a half, it's going to depend on their situation at the time. But again, it's going to be based on, she died at that exact same time, and there's not a step down in that trust. Now, what do I mean by that? In the trust itself, if it says that my daughter doesn't outlive me, predeceases me, then it's going to go down to, there's different language for it. It could be my grandchildren, it could be my issue. You think that word means problem, it means grandchildren, great, 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 going straight down the family line. If it says that, husband's out. Doesn't make a difference. You can be remarried 6 different times. Now, unless you really like your child's spouse, you need to name them. Otherwise, there's no rights.
Even if there is a prenuptial agreement?
If the prenuptial agreement basically ends at death, meaning that it's only for divorce purposes, there's a potential where there are inheritance rights there. But like I said, if the trust is written correctly, where it just says it's going to go down to the next generation, husband's out.
I understand that after, let's just say they sold the property in this example, and the monies goes to, let's just say a third of it's going to the daughter, that unless the daughter puts that into a separate bank account, that if she's married, that those funds could become community property if she doesn't put it into a separate bank account after she receives those funds.
So not quite. What you're talking about is a little different. We're getting into the realm of having to deal with family law, which is perfectly fine. There's a crossover here. So what you're talking about is, so let me just make sure I'm understanding. You have a bank account of some sort. Daughter gets money from that account and puts it into X account.
Well, I was just talking about monies coming from the estate, whether it's from like a property being sold.
Sure, okay.
And so let's just say an example here,
It's
she
a
got a
dovetail
third.
on
I'm just,
my question.
yeah,
Got
I'm
it,
trying
okay.
to address a little further down the road kind of thing. So let's just say that that property is sold, and let's say the daughter got a third of it.
Mhm.
Daughter takes those proceeds and puts it into a
shared
shared account, then it could become community property, versus if she puts it into a separate account, then it should be her own inheritance, and that community property wouldn't come into effect if she keeps it in a separate account.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
But if the guy knows that she has a separate account, he's gonna go and claim it.
So it's a little,
Because of the kids. Because of the kids, right? You said that if they have kids involved.
Yes and no. So lawyer's favorite answer is it depends, right? So I'm going to go with that answer first, but then I'm going to build off of it. So what it is this. What we're talking about is if we're going to have to trace back to whether it's an inheritance or not. We're also talking about a divorce. It's going to be a little different. So hopefully, knock on wood, that's not the case. I don't have wood right here. There you go, got to do it, okay. So, hopefully not the case for this scenario, but if there is, one, family law attorneys make so much money because they have to go through the tracing, they have to get so many people involved, and quite honestly, it's just going to be an argument no matter what. When it comes to what we're talking about is if it comes from an inheritance, if it comes from a gift into the marriage, or it is something that is brought into the marriage prior to the marriage, that is all called separate property. What separate property is it means that you own, it's your sole and separate property. I'm sure you guys have seen that on deeds. When it's your sole and separate property, it means that the other person has no claim. the other person, it doesn't matter if it was during the marriage or whenever it came in before the marriage, doesn't make a difference when it's a gift, inheritance, or before the marriage brought in whatever that thing is. What your concern is if they brought it in and they put it into a joint account. When you put it into a joint account, there's an argument by the law that says that it was a gift to the community. It was a 50-50 split. There's a 50-50 ownership. That's how joint accounts work. So, the advice that I would give to, say, daughter, she was sitting here. If daughter was sitting here, got that inheritance of the third, I would say this. If you want it to be separate, make sure it stays separate. Keep it in your own account. Keep your own funds. If you're buying something off of it, make sure that there's some sort of acknowledgement that says that this is my separate property. Could be a car, could be a house, doesn't make a difference. Or even, if there's a prenup, even better, doing an amendment to it that says, hey, there's also this thing that's going to be under this too. Okay.
A scenario. So the person, the wife, has the property on her own name. The husband quit claim many years ago, right? They have 2 kids, and something happens to the wife, but still married, no divorce. Can the husband claim that inheritance? I mean, the property? If he proved that he was the one, for many years he paid the mortgage.
That is the thing right there. So if just because the property is in one spouse's name does not mean that it is that one person's property. There is a high likelihood that there is community property there when we see that mortgage coming in, unless, again, there's a prenup, something else that is changing that. But realistically, what you're getting into, and this is just dealing with, let's say it's not even as that complicated, let's say it's just simply property was purchased, wife had really bad credit, husband's the only one's name that's on there, it might even say stolen separate property. There is still a chance that there's this thing called a separate property, spousal property petition. That is like a mini probate that says, hey, I need this confirmed as community property. It was just kind of an oops why it was held this way. And explain to the court, and then the court would have to.
So you still need to go through the court?
Yes.
And hire an attorney?
Yes, especially since in your scenario you didn't have a trust, it's going to probate.
Oh.
Yeah. And that would be a whole different type of argument, but something that you said too, and just so that you're all aware, if you ever see where there are quitclaim deeds that are on title, or on the chain of title, should I say, quitclaim deeds when it's spouse saying it's 100% wife's or whoever it is, that is going to be where it is very crucial on the fact that when you have that, it is going to be controlling. You can't overcome that because even if it's they didn't know what they were signing. I've had people sign deeds that are 100% Spanish speakers, barely literate, sign the quitclaim deed because the lender told them to. Things along those lines, and they can't overcome it.
Doesn't matter if you do the quitclaim deed after closing or during the closing. So the title and insurance will take place, right? So if you close, because sometimes we have customers that ask for help to close up, right? And the misconception is, oh, don't worry, as soon as we close, we'll take you out, right, as a quitclaim, and they don't let them know that you're still going to be liable for the debt. So now I believe I'm out. He gets behind and my creditor's room, whatever. But then it was done after closing. So there is no title insurance on that particular quitclaim. Can it be a fight when they sell the property and now the title says, well, I need proof that this was a valid quitclaim?
So John's answer behind you, which is this big shaking his head, is the answer no. So it has to be before, especially if there's going to be any sort of insurance, it has to happen before in order for it to be covered. Otherwise, it's kind of like somebody falls off my roof, I'm going to get insurance the next day. That's not going to do anything for me. Along those lines. Any other questions? Or I'm going to run through the last 2 parts, and then you guys can get out of here because nobody wants to listen to me that long. Good? Okay. All right. So going to adding children, title protection from even different liabilities, or just having spouses come in, we've covered all of that. Now, we briefly covered the married and spouses. There's sometimes even not going so much with Billy, hey, he's going to take care of everything, but hey, I'm married, my spouse is just going to get everything. going kind of just briefly over that, we've already covered it. The answer is no. But if it's not in a trust, it's going to make it more complicated. It could be a spousal property petition, especially if you don't have that joint tenant deed or the right of survivorship on the deed itself. Why? It's because we don't have it where it's automatically going to the survivor. It's not going to work very well. If you have it going to the survivor, perfect. But let's say we just have husband and wife. We can even have it say it's community property. Let's say that. Doesn't say right of survivorship, doesn't say anything else. We're now back to that thing that I had mentioned, which was the spousal property petition, where you have to go to court and have it confirmed that it's actually supposed to go 100% to spouse. On top of that, you're running into the issue of that now it's all on spouse, surviving spouse, who just is probably grieving, to create a trust, 100%, and hopefully your wishes are included as well. It's one single person's trust. To talk about that briefly as well, we have where only type of joint trust you can have is with married individuals or domestic partners. Otherwise, it's an individual trust. Individual trusts are also very useful for when we have separate property coming into a marriage, something along those lines, because then they have full control, don't need the spouse's permission to control or do anything with it, and has that protection regardless of the amount. Okay. All right, I'm getting kind of to the end of all this. Couple of things that avoid probate and dealing with trust and everything else is pay on death accounts, or also for the real estate world is transfer on death deeds. It's an alternative, so to speak, to a trust. The problem with transfer on death deeds is that they're limited. You can only, it's almost like on your bank account, you know, you can only have one layer down to where it's supposed to go. You have your beneficiaries and you can have your contingent beneficiaries. That is it. You cannot stipulate, oh, Billy has to be 45 before he gets it, or, you know, Susie needs to live in the house for 2 years. You can't stipulate those things on that type of deed. Trust you can, that type of deed, definitely not. Pay on death and accounts, just to kind of go over it briefly, is also the fact that pay on death accounts are what they sound like. Automatically paid out, like the transfer on death deed, upon the person's passing. All you need is a death certificate. Doesn't matter if Susie died and left behind John and James. Doesn't make a difference. It will just go to, say, Bob's left on the account, going to Bob. Billy's on there, great for Billy too.
Now, banks have different paperwork that they request, right? Different banks. What are the main papers you need to have if you're going to take over an account that somebody, your family died, and they name you as a beneficiary? What do you need to show to the bank so they can transfer the account, or do you make a use of that account?
So not only banks, life insurance policies, anything along those lines, 401ks, IRAs, all those accounts that are automatically paid out, say outside of a trust if there was one, or just left outside altogether. Every institution has their own paperwork. Usually it's a form, usually it needs social security numbers of whoever was actually on the account, or who you believe is on the accounts, because sometimes they don't even tell you that much, and a death certificate. The death certificate's the golden key on that one. Now, this is going to be the problem for accounts, is just because, what if you don't have a beneficiary? Welcome to probate. So let's try to avoid that too, just in our own lives. All right, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on taxes just because they're always subject to change. Taxes change all the time, we know that, but something that I do want to make mention, which is really nice, is two things. With a trust, there's no reassessment. Doesn't matter if you're putting it into a trust, there's no reassessment to put it in or out of a trust. I know there's a lot of concern, especially for the elders, and whether or not that's going to change. It's not. We have also for capital gains, especially if somebody passes away. We always have the step up. We have that step up for a reason, which is, look, it's restarting the clock to the moment of death. If you hold on to that property for several more years and it's just going up in value, capital gains are going to start here and go to here, but they're not going to be at the ground when, you know, Grandpa Jim got the property for $5 in a peanut bag. So it's not going to be like that. So that's a nice thing too. That's also something that is a little bit of a selling point when people hear that. There are certain exemptions. Every individual has $1 million exemption in their lifetime that can help with avoiding taxes and everything else. The trust itself does not. It's attached to every individual. And then we've already briefly talked about the death taxes. Again, not going into it because they're always subject to change. For instance, it just went up from 13 to 14-ish million. That's, again, the irrevocable trust versus the revocable trust.
Can you enlighten us on homestead?
I'm sorry?
Homestead.
Homestead.
250?
Yeah, again, I don't like talking about taxes because they're always subject to change.
Oh, that's the, okay.
But it's nice, homesteads do help. But again, it can be done outside of trust and things along those.
But are they done automatically once you become a homeowner? They give you a percentage?
There's paperwork involved.
Okay.
Just make sure the paperwork's involved. Same for if you have somebody who's passed away. There's a notification that has to go to the assessor's office that's saying, hey, landowner in this county died. You have to do those types of things. And just to finalize on a fun fact, 67% of Americans do not have an estate plan. That's throughout the United States. That's not just here. So it's something that needs to be talked about. I know it's a difficult subject because who wants to think about their death, but in the long run, it's also just thinking about your family. Or just what on earth is going to happen to your assets. So if you like control, estate planning is the answer. Okay? Any questions on any of that? Yes?
I wanted to inquire about changes to a trust.
Yes.
How would you know if there's changes to a trust? Is there any mechanism that allows you to know that, and if there's been changes that you're not aware of?
Realistically, no. So most estate planning comes in a nice thick binder. Trust amendments, so that's what it's called, is an amendment or a restatement. It's supposed to be sitting on top of the original. You don't see it, probably not going to be there. Trusts aren't recorded, wills aren't recorded, any of those things are not recorded. The only thing that's recorded is when you're doing title and you have it where you're looking on it, you're looking at the title and it says it's held by the trustees of some trust. That's it. It's not going to say it's been redone or not.
And does it do any good to record a trust in any respect to make sure? Okay, and what if you want to establish that no changes have been made? Is it possible for a parent to reestablish that? Like if you have a parent that has dementia or Alzheimer's or concerns that maybe family members have there's been changes made to that trust. And
after they've been diagnosed or something along those lines?
Yeah.
They use that conservatorships.
Conservatorships.
But that would be if they were determined by a doctor to be incapacitated. But if they're not, then they live it, then it kind of gets a little fuzzy.
Okay, so let's just talk about what the threshold for an attorney to work with somebody is that's going to start to kind of build an idea. For us to work with somebody to make a change, one, if we know that there's some sort of dementia, Alzheimer's, some sort of possibly mind-altering thing going on, one, we want a letter of capacity, and hopefully that's included in the binder too. So a letter of capacity, but if that's not apparent, and this is also something that's really important, the attorney is supposed to meet only with the client, period. No other family members, everybody gets kicked out to the lobby, at least in my office, and that's what's supposed to happen. And the reason for that is undue influence, duress, any of the other things. Just simply me standing near you, you're going to be kind of go like, oh, this is a little awkward, I'm not liking this. Just simply doing that is just going to be enough to do it, right? So with that being said, for us, we have to ask certain questions. Do you know what your assets are? Do you know approximately the value? Do you understand if you are adding Billy on and not Susie and Bob, what does that mean? Do you understand that we really have to what's called disinherit them? Do you know what that means? Things along those lines. We ask the questions, and if they're sitting there, well, Susie told me to say, immediately get out of my office. We're not finishing this conversation. It's not going to work. If it's also going, well, I don't remember, or they're starting to guess and different things, sorry, I'm not comfortable changing letter of capacity. But conservatorship is a little different. Conservatorship actually has a lot of protections. Conservatorship is when somebody doesn't have an advanced healthcare directive or a durable power of attorney. The way that the government sees it is that we have two parts to ourselves. We have our body, where we control our health and medical decisions, and then we have our stuff, our assets. So we have where we have to have these two documents. Otherwise, we go through the conservatorship, which most of us never heard of until Britney Spears, so thanks for that. So with Britney Spears, she wouldn't have gone through any of that, but her dad started controlling her assets, and technically he could have created a trust for her, but it would have had to go through the court system. Conservatorships are fantastic. If we're talking along the lines of, Susie comes in and says, hey, I have power of attorney, I would create this trust, and by the way, get everything, whole different story, we're not going near it. So there are some protections that go along with it, but if they're doing it at home, there's heaven only knows. To confirm whether or not there are changes, there's no way to know. It's supposed to be in the binder. If you can't find them within a reasonable time period, we like that word, reasonable, and it depends, then realistically, you're going to have to go based off of what you have there. You're also gonna have a timeline in your family. You're gonna know when mom started, losing her mind a little bit. You can different things like that. So you can always go in and argue what is called contest the trust or any document.
What is an average fee for a trust? If you do a trust, how much is the average fee going on?
For me, or are you talking about in general?
Well, for
Because
your
it's a little
office.
different.
For your office.
So in my office, so if I'm doing an individual trust, it ranges between $1,650 and $1,950.
Okay.
And the reason for that change is whether or not I'm doing those directives, the Advanced Healthcare Directive and the Durable Power of Attorney.
Oh.
If I'm doing a marital couple or a domestic partnership, legal, by the way, it has to be legal. We don't have words, I've been living with the person 7 years and the counts doesn't work in the state of California. If we were doing a marital trust or joint trust, should I say, then it is between $2,150 and $2,450.
Okay, and you know that when somebody has a trust and wants to do something with the property, they automatically has to reverse back to their names in order to refinance, right? Lenders don't want to do refinance on trust. So do you have to charge, or what is the process to get it back and reverse it?
Back into the trust?
Yeah, you do that, you charge a fee?
So if I'm writing something, I typically charge, if it's something like that, I try to do as minimum as possible. Usually when I'm doing deeds or extra deeds on top of it, because that includes, the price I gave includes the primary residence. If there are additional properties, there are additional charges. Same with the county. But for the, what you're asking is, I usually charge the same. It's about $275 to just create the deed, to put it all back in and make sure it's all
$275, and then after they fund, then you can put it back and you charge another $275?
So realistically, at least I've seen, I usually see where the whoever's lending is the one who actually creates the one that takes it out, and then it's up to the clients to figure out how to put it back in.
So then if I come back to you because you did the original, and I said I got the money, I wanted to continue trust, you will charge me again $2,000?
$275.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
that's what I was trying to
$275 just if I'm creating extra deeds, things along
Correct.
those lines.
Correct.
I'm going to talk about a worst case scenario, and you really want to tell your clients this if they ever want to refinance, is if they're going to refinance and they do take out of the trust, a lot of people have that misconception as well. It was in my trust, it's fine. It's not a problem. It has to be titled in it at the time of passing. At least with California, we've had that issue enough times. We have it actually named after somebody. It's a Hexcat petition. It's an 850 petition, which is based on the law that says, look, if it's an oops, let's put it back in and treat it like it was part of the trust.
Are you having cases right now because you know the land, a lot of owners of land are being scammed and taking their property? They have under trust.
Sorry.
They have it under trust. So are you handling those kind of cases?
Not so much that it was a scam in that way. Realistically, I see a lot more where children have forged their parents' signatures on things. Something I'm going to make mention to, and I'll get to you in just a second, John, is David and I have been trying to make it very apparent to the seniors, or at least for my clients that come into my office, not typically always seniors, is that, fraud is a huge thing, especially when it comes to title. It is a very real thing. And David, I think you sent the slide?
Yes.
Did he send over the slide for you? He's been trying to show this to every client, and this might be nice for your clients as well, if you don't already have it, I'm sure you do, is that he has it where you can actually check and sign up to see if there's any change in title. Just
Did you send it to Bo?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So it should be here?
Should be.
Okay, so if I click on it, it's going to show
how
up?
about this? Just bug David if you need.
Yeah.
This?
Bug David, there's something that's fantastic that the assessor's office, is the assessor's reporter?
LA County Assessor's
Accessories. The assessor's office has set up where you can have it automatically go to your cell phone to find out if there's been a change on your title, so it's instantaneously. It's a nice thing to protect from fraud and everything.
Yeah, that's good.
I just wanted to touch on what Victor said. So that's the lens that you're talking about. Some lenders make you take it out of title, out of the trust, and then forget to put it back in. So I would just say any transaction that we do, or the lenders that we work with, if you have to take it out, it's imperative we always make sure that escrow puts it back in. So it's escrow that actually does the paperwork and puts it back in title. So if they have to take it out, it closes out of the name, and then they file the new deed, grand deed right behind it. If
But there is a charge as well, right?
Well, I mean, from escrow,
From
whatever
escrow.
escrow charges, yeah.
But then you close with a trust again.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it follows right behind it if you have to do that.
Perfect.
And in a different case scenario, if you already have a client who has a trust, they can actually buy the property through the trust as long as the lender's willing to work with them that way. So that's always nice too. So you don't have to do the double back and spin around a few times. All right, I really think you guys are tired of hearing me talk. So I'm gonna say goodbye. If you want to even have a one-on-one or anything else, I have my cards up here. I also have a Spanish-speaking attorney who's in my office as well. So if you know somebody who might benefit from that, we have her cards. Her name is Nancy Baleon. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Great. Yes. My mind is going in so many directions. Yes. Yes. No probate. Yes, trust. No probate. Yes, trust.
We got it.
Yes. And before we go, I want to bring up our amazing lunch sponsor today. Oh, is that it? Is this it right here?
That was the other one. No.
This
That's
was
my info.
Oh, that's your info. Okay, perfect. Yes. So I'd like to bring up our lunch sponsor today, Miss Susan with American Home Shield. Yes.
I know you're so ecstatic to see me because I made you get to go to lunch. But I am Susan. I'm with American Home Shield. I've been with them for 17 years. So I have a lot of experience. And I'm proud to say I'm also an ex-Keller Williams real estate agent. So I've done real estate for many years with Keller Williams, and it has a soft spot in my heart. And I really have a high regard for this company. When you do have lunch, I left these bags. If any of you are farming or you need bags to put your materials in, they're by the lunch table, okay? I left some of these. Homeowners get confused. What's a home warranty and what's homeowner's insurance? I get these calls every day. Oh, my fence fell down. I'm like, we don't take care of fences. Okay, so if you ever have, you're putting a listing packet together and you want these for your packet, you can explain it or just give it to them. I have all these materials. So what I did, I brought a prize because everybody likes to win something.
Absolutely.
And it's Christmas, it's the holidays. I also was trained to do risk management classes with the DRE. So I was a DRE facilitator for real estate agents. So I have a lot of knowledge in keeping, well, I'm not an attorney.
You don't want to be, it's great.
Ways to stand in court. You have E&O insurance, so everybody's going to go after you if something goes wrong somehow. So to win this prize, my only question for the prize is, according to the Department of Real Estate, what is the #1 reason that real estate agents are sued or taken to court? Trevor?
Because they don't disclose.
No, well.
They don't take good conversation logs.
Nope. Think about when a buyer moves into their house.
William, did you have something?
Maybe in the dual agency.
Nope.
No.
Isn't this interesting?
Material fact.
Nope. Well, what do you mean by material fact?
Like they don't disclose.
You didn't disclose something.
What do you think they didn't disclose? Think about they moved into their house, and I'm going to have to throw a hint here. This is pretty bad, right?
Well, no, it's just our agents are so good, they never get to it. That's why. Yes.
So the question again is?
What, according to NAR, National Association of Real Estate, the #1 reason that agents are taken to court has to do with the property. Buyer moves in.
Not disclosing what they knew was wrong with the
Withholding of information.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Very broad. We gotta narrow it down a little bit.
I moved into my home and, now if I say this, they're gonna know the answer, so scream it out. I moved.
Oh, Tina.
Septic tank.
Well, I'm gonna put that's okay. It's the condition of the house.
Condition.
The reason that real estate agents are taken to court the most is because the condition of the house, meaning they go in, they have an inspection, whatever, it could fall under disclosed, but all of a sudden the foundation is cracked, or the electrical lines are burning up, or something to do with the condition of the house. So they're taking the agents to court because they want them to pay to fix it. Or they're suing the seller. Okay? So that is why many agents get phone calls from their buyers.
So
right?
who gets the gift?
Susan gets the
Sorry, we'll try again next time. There's really nothing in the box. It was a trick question. Well, said septic. I mean, at least that's part of the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal for my house.
But that's one reason. It's like 87%. It's like way up there. You know, people move into their homes, things are breaking down. You sold me a lemon. You should have told me about this, etc., etc. Okay? So,
Well, now we know condition, guys. Condition.
the condition of a home is important. That's why you do what? An AVIT, right?
Well, you add it, yes.
AVIT, right?
Right now.
Well, I was with a big class with attorneys. Just throw that out there. And you know that was the huge discussion. When you're going through every room, make sure you write something down on that.
We just had a conversation, didn't we just have a, yes, Sandy.
Yeah. Very
Remember,
important.
Abby,
Don't
one
worry.
of
I
Abby,
mean, I
you have to
sold
write
real
something down?
estate. I've got myself in trouble. You know, thinking that a home warranty is going to cover everything, because I was ignorant to what it does, doesn't cover, etc. But they made it very clear. If you go in a room, even if you just wrote no noticeable defects, but that shows that you were in that room, and that's why we're saying
No visual defects noted.
Yeah,
No visual
exactly.
defects.
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm here about. I sat through everything, so I know about my trust. I know how to change it. I know how to give it to my kids. Sorry, I get off track. I'm going brain. So there's 3 things I think you should know about a home warranty. Okay, when you're selecting a home warranty or you're assisting your buyer to make a decision or whatever, okay, the first thing I encourage you to know is the limits on that warranty. Okay, some warranties only cover $1,000 for air conditioning, some $5,000. American Home Shield, we cover $15,000. Okay. Some of them don't cover multiple units. So one air conditioner goes out, but they have 2 air conditioners, and the other one's like, sorry. We do cover multiple, okay? But if you have a buyer and the inspector shows, you know, the air conditioner is past its age, whatever he wants to write, and the buyer is so concerned, I'm really worried about this air conditioner, I'm so worried about this air conditioner, and it's running, right? Because home warranties, we don't cover pre-existing conditions. If it breaks down, you better make sure they're in a plan that has a lot of dollars to put in a new air conditioning system. If they turn around and find out the warranty only covers $1,000, and it's going to be a $12,000 job, they're going to come back to you and say, I made you aware, I was worried about this, okay? One thing I like to tell you about too is if you see on the inspection the air conditioner has a lot of corrosion, right? It looks all rusted out, it's old, whatever. That's usually, it is from dog urine or a sprinkler hitting it. That's the only way that really happens. If that corrosion, even though it was working when they closed escrow, causes that air conditioner to fail, it's pre-existing, it's not going to be covered by your home warranty. I've been through these scenarios. I know I've been 16 years in the industry. So don't say to them, don't worry, we're giving you a home warranty. You don't have to worry about it. It might be something to say that I'm going to make sure that the coverage we get you is the highest quality, right? So that they know you're looking out for their best interests. Number 2, when you're looking at a home warranty, you want to make sure you know that the company is going to be there tomorrow. I've been approached by, in so many years, so many companies asking me to join them. They want my book of business, let's face it, right? But if the company is really new, I've had reps I'm from Jersey, if you haven't picked it up with my accent, but I've had reps call me from Jersey asking me if our company's hiring because the company they worked for there failed. Only for me to find out that company's now here. So just be careful. Know that the company is established. It's going to be here tomorrow. check the ratings. We're rated #1 by Forbes and Better Business Bureau. We're a 52-year-old company, okay? But these are things that are important. You don't want it coming back to bite you. And the last fact is know your rent. Okay? You want to have a rep that's been through, so many scenarios with a company that is very bendable. The company I work with, we override so many things. I've had so many agents call me and say, Susan, they're going to sue me if you can't help me. We can help you, we will help you, we'll try to help you, we'll contribute half or whatever. But that's so important that you have a rep that can return your calls, a rep that knows, how to override decisions by the contractors. They're the ones that make the decision, not the company. They go out and say, your air conditioner has corrosion, or some animal has been wetting it, and they tell the company, deny, it's pre-existing. Everybody thinks the company's the one that's doing that. And then they call me and say, Susan, I need your help. So I just want you to know that that's my job, is to keep you out of court, to keep your buyers happy, because they're my clients too. We did set up a phone number for real estate agents in California only. It's a concierge line. If any of you have clients with American Home Shield or intend to, keep this number, because if you ever have a question and I'm at a meeting for 2 or 3 hours, this number this team can help you immediately. If you have to order service, put an order in, any question, it's only for you, so you don't give it out to the public. It's 844. I should have brought pens.
I gave them, it's fine.
844-968-4220. And that is your real estate agent concierge line. And always remember to put the phone number on the warranty when you put the order in, because our company calls every single new client to American Home Shield, and we go over their plan with them thoroughly, so that they know, hey, this plan includes your roof. This plan includes a free tune-up for your air conditioning system. This plan has rekey. You can rekey your home for free, or you can rekey your home for the service fee. So you don't have to teach them the plan. That's what their job is. You have any questions? No? I know you have. I know your question should be, can we go eat? Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Yeah, so, was this helpful?
Very helpful.
Was this educational?
Yes.
Are you guys going to come back again?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. You can go out those doors and enjoy some delicious